My name's Doug Davis, and this is the Ice Planet Hoth, Rebels versus the Empire. And we came up with this one, and we're going to do it a little bit bigger and a little bit better next year. This was actually not supposed to be out again. It was supposed to be retired until we reworked it, but they asked us to bring another display, so here we are. And so we have the Rebels versus the Empire over on the front, a little battlefield from the trenches. We have the Rebel snow speeder that goes around that tripped up the first AT-AT walker. The second one's still going strong. We've got the chicken walkers and the Rebel speeders and the tauntauns. And then we have some other little details that, Luke and Leia in the hallway, and I'd rather kiss a Wookiee wrote on her neck there, and Luke in the back to tank, and some of the X-Wings getting worked on, and Yoda Claus is here for a special visit to the kids. So, and I'm not sure where Stay Puft came from, so I hadn't seen that one before. Somebody must have added that.
There you go. Some fun little details like that, though. That's neat. So obviously one thing that catches your eye right away is all that movement over there. If we move towards that way and kind of dive into this a little bit more and how this section came together.
Well, we thought it would be fun to try to put a cable on the back of a Rebel speeder so that it would trip up the AT-AT walker and go face first into the ground. So we built the indentation first and then put the AT-AT face down in there. And then a buddy of mine came up with a way better plan than what I had originally with 2x2 clear bricks that would hold the AT-AT walker up. He custom cut me a little plastic acrylic piece to hold the thing just a hair above the ground so it looks like it walks. And then we repaired the neck so that the neck spins back and forth when he walks, so he kind of walks with a little style now.
There you go. And then you got the train track for the speeder.
Yeah, just hit the old 9-volt train track, and then there may be some Scotch tape on that to hold it on. So it wasn't exactly fitting very well, and the connection gets really loose. The longer it goes around, the more loose it gets, so we had to put a little more Scotch tape on it. So, but it does work. Luke's in there, and he gets the job done every time.
Yes, it works well. And so then you've got like different elevations here. So what's the structure kind of like underneath there that as you built this up?
Well, actually it is a bunch of yellow parts that I lucked into, about 60 pounds of yellow 2x4s and 2x8s. So it is built on a little structure system, and then we had new white plates right before we shelved this thing 2 years ago. And we just built up the subfloor and then put plates on all the top of it. And like I said, it's kind of starting to yellow us a little bit, so we're trying to get that redone as soon as we can.
And obviously some great rock work there for kind of the base. How did that come together for you? Is that a difficult technique for you to do?
Not after building Geonosis. Rocks are kind of my thing now, so that made it a little bit easier for us to build that.
No, that works great. And you can tell you've had some experience as it all came. It looks very natural there with stuff sticking out.
Well, in part of that wall is actually an opening space, because if I would remember to pack all the stuff for a build, those two gun turrets are supposed to turn and the robotics are hidden inside that wall.
Okay.
So, but like I said, I haven't touched this for 2 years. It was going to be shelved and redone. We brought it out last minute, so we came with it as it's set, basically.
And then all of these tons of minifigs here, was it difficult to source those? Or you kind of have large Star Wars collections of minifigs with some of the other builds and everything?
Yeah, I'm a hoarder, so I've got plenty of figures. The unique thing I think about these, usually when we take this build apart, I've actually built it so it's got a couple of substructures on the corners, and we have pieces that we actually have built to measure out so that it all sits flat. All 4 pieces of this will stack on top of itself, and we shrink wrap it to travel.
Okay.
So it basically compacts down to 3 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot high.
So it travels really nicely then.
Travels really great. This took the least amount of time to set up as anything we do. So the Geonosis took 12 hours, and this one took about an hour and a half. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic then. So you mentioned, I think you're planning to kind of add on, expand, and update this a bit. What are some of the plans on how you're going to do that?
We want to make Echo Base a lot bigger with a lot more tunnels, and I want to make Echo Base about 8 feet wide and probably 6 foot deep, and then the battlefield is going to grow bigger on the outside too.
Okay. So you don't do anything small then. It's everything is in very large chunks.
I don't know how to do things small. When I built the Ecto 1 kit, I was going to build it for fun. And it literally took me 3 hours a day for 4 days a week because I have gigantic gorilla hands. And I thought, forget this. Let's go back to building big things. So the set's cool, but it's not for me. I'm not the guy that should be playing Operation ever.
There you go. Well, this display turned out great, even with its kind of weathered look. I think that adds to the battlefield perspective of it. So,
and I also added a bunch of snowballs this time. All the Rebel guys have little snow stacks next to them, so if things get really ugly and they run out of ammo, at least they got something to do, right?
You can resort to that. Well, fantastic. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me about the build.
Anytime. Thanks for showing it.